I was watching some of your lives back, and I saw that you had something, entrepreneur chat last week, and you were talking about your strategies around launching and around posting. And you're like, I don't care about the likes. I have two strategies. One is around the gaining period, and the other one is the spamming period. Let's just put the content out. Talk to me about how you think about social media, because it's quite unorthodox. You post when you want, how you want. That's what it seems, but I feel like there's a strategy behind what we see. How do you approach social media, Nia?
It's a tool. It's a tool. You know, I think that it is a true talent to kind of like know how to manipulate social media to work for you. And that's just what I do, and that's just how I use it. So, I mean, like in terms of specifically like how I post and when I post, it's more structured on like my actual business pages. So when it comes to like my personal Twitter, I kind of use for business because it's the only Twitter page I have. It has so many followers. It makes sense to use it in that way and to advertise on it. My specific product page on Instagram, we're getting on Facebook. We're like trying to build our platform. It's still kind of small. And then we're getting on YouTube. I actually have a completed YouTube video ready to go up. Yeah, just in terms of when it's time for a sale, we're like really trying to get the message out there. And prior to that, we're really just trying to bring customers in and get people interested in our brand and willing to buy, you know, and then, you know, convert the follower to a buyer.
Hey guys, BJ Mlenga here, episode 1 of the Business Building Show. I have Nia the Loc God, 20-year-old millionaire in the house. We're going to get into the story. We're going to get into the vision for the future. And more importantly, we're going to unpack some truths about being a teenage entrepreneur and making it for yourself. Nia, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So I obviously know that you do interviews. You've kind of been documenting your journey. You're going through a time now where everyone's going to ask you how you did it, how you started it. Did you want to be an entrepreneur? I think the question I find the most important to ask is, what's your purpose? Why are you doing business? Because anyone can do it, but like, why is this important to you?
So for one, specifically what I'm doing and specifically what I'm selling, I do feel like there's a need. I do feel like it is a neglected market. Lock hair care. So hair care specifically geared towards the lock community. I think that when you go into a beauty supply store, you won't see any high quality products with high quality ingredients in them that are geared towards locks. So for that reason, you know, I'm doing it for the lock community. I'm also doing it for myself. I think that this is my purpose. I think that it is what I was put on this earth to do, is to be a CEO, to run my own business, and, you know, to really build something so beautiful, help build something so beautiful for my team and my family. And, you know, just even for my community, the Black community as well.
I love that. With the growth of your business, there's been times where it's kind of just gone next level. I know Cyber Monday was a really big thing for you.
Yes.
Are we ready to talk about that? 100K in 10 minutes. How are you processing the challenges that you're going through? So I think sometimes people want to know, like, what's the magic? And I think there's something in not being prepared for what you don't know. And kind of researching that people never talk about. They think that we have all the answers. And my guess is you're someone who you do your research before you do stuff, and you try to deliver your best service. What ways have you approached the challenges you face, whether it be warehousing, whether it be packaging supplies being off? Like, what's the mentality you're taking when it comes to getting solutions to these growing pains?
Jesus. Well, I'll give you straight up. First thing I do is get really mad. I'm in my house just cursing at the wall and punching the air. And then after all that, I'll probably sit and think, and then I'll be like, okay, let me call my mother, or let me talk to this person. Then after I calm down, after I'm no longer mad and I realize, okay, we need a solution, I'll be like, okay, how do we solve this issue? How do we solve this problem? You know, what can we do about this? Like, first I'll spiral and get really upset and be mad at this, that's this up, and this ruins this, and now how we gonna do that, and this, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe if we did this, that would fix this. Maybe if we did this, that would fix that. Maybe if we did this. And it kind of just comes together over time. That's literally how I am. But, for other people, I think that, speak to your team, speak to people that you trust, and just try to stay open-minded and really just try to be creative about how you can solve about problem solving, because, the creativity really works. Just to give you a specific example, one of our key ingredients for our conditioner, we're not going to get until January. Now, I had planned to do a sale at some point. And, before the mid-January, which is the ETA I was given. And I was just like, well, what am I going to do? This is a key component in some of my highest selling packs. How, literally items that I sold, maybe, how many?
It was 700 Holy Grails. 700 plus Holy Grails.
700 Holy Grails. Then the 250 Jumbo Holy Grails. 200 stashes, which are all variations of Holy Grails, which all include conditioner. These are 4-bottle packs. We're talking about maybe 1,500 4-bottle packs. That's what
in total.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
That's 6,000. That's half of the inventory. Now we don't know how to sell it. Exactly. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, well, what am I going to do? And then here I am spiraling, and we're not going to sell as much. What about my employees? They're going to be expecting this. What about this number? What about that? The customers are going to be mad. You're thinking about all this stuff. And then, my mom's in the room, and she's like, well, what about if you just tell them that they're placing a pre-order?
Yeah.
And they'll get it in January. And I was like, well, that's not a terrible idea. And then my team tells me, well, how about you switch your marketing up, and instead of marketing the Holy Grail as much as you do, you start marketing the Duo, or you start marketing the Trinity more, things that don't include the conditioner. And I was like, well, that makes sense. And then, after you spiral and think about how it ruins everything else, then there's people around you, and then, they help you and they tell you hey, there's other ways that you can go about this. It doesn't have to just be all blown up.
So there's a lot of resilience there. There's a lot of thinking on your feet there. And there's kind of leaning on awesome people around you to kind of bounce off. So you're not just around yes men, you're around people who are like, oh, this is what we think, and they're kind of supporting you. That's good. I can definitely relate.
Definitely.
I can definitely relate. There's times I haven't had the right team around me, and that's affected businesses. But when I have had the right team, that's definitely something that has changed the potential of things we're working on. So that's good to know. Obviously, going through a massive season right now, it's so amazing to see. £1 million in 10 months, from being a hairdresser to a business owner to now a multi-millionaire. I wanted to kind of go into the process of putting the first product together. Where did it start? I know that customers were asking for it when you were a hairdresser, but from your side, how did the product start, and how did you get the confidence to take it full time?
Well, it started literally I moved from one cheaper space to a more expensive space as a hairdresser, and just needed some more money to pay the bills. And so people kept telling me to bottle this mixture that I had been telling everyone else to do. They were like, hey, my hair's dry. I was like, well, you mix this with this and you do this and that, and then you're good. And they're like, why don't you just bottle that? And I was just like, no, you just do it yourself. What are you talking about? And then, eventually I was like, you know what, maybe I should just bottle it. I need some bill money. And then I sold a whole bunch of different stuff. I sold, I wholesaled other products. I sold, do-rags and bonnets and scarves and a bunch of other stuff. And then the clients took mostly to the oil, which was the first product that I sold. And a lot of people really were gravitating towards that. And so, then I brought it online. I really don't know what made me bring it online, because that was a lot of work. I don't know. I think one of my friends had told me, I think this was what it was, but I don't remember the actual reason. But I remember she had been wholesaling some products online, and she told me that she had made $50,000 in a year. And I was like, well, shit, I can use the extra $50,000. And so I think that's what made me do it, but I really don't remember. But then I brought it online. I advertised my butt off. I did the same spamming that I, preach. And then it sold out in 45 minutes, 67 orders, 90 bottles. First time out. Yeah.
A big part of your success was the fact that you already had built a following, which enabled when you dropped your product to kind of have people there ready to kind of potentially purchase from you. Who was Nia at 13, 14, and 15? What made you become a hairdresser? And when did you start building this audience?
Okay, so when I was younger, I was just in school. I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit. I have a lot of funny stories about the same street that my warehouse is on. So I did sell candy across the street from my warehouse. I did do hair in the African hair braiding shop on the same street as my warehouse. So that's kind of like, I've always kind of been an entrepreneur. I sold candy on the street. I used to paint people's sneakers. I used to do a lot of that kind of stuff. People have to remind me like, hey, you used to do that. I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that too. But when I was 17 years old, I started doing hair. Basically, I was used to not having much money. Like if my mom gave me $5 a day to eat lunch, that's kind of just what I had. And so, that's kind of just what I had been used to. And basically, my mom had a friend who was starting her own salon studio in like the African hair braiding place. And I was like, okay, like my mom was like, you should go work in there because I was doing my hair and her hair. She has locks as well at the time. And she was like, you should go in there and do hair. Like, Nia could work there. And then so she made this whole big thing out of the launch. Like she's telling all her friends on Facebook. She's telling family, everyone come to Nia's launch, blah, blah, blah. She made flyers. She had like orange juice and cookies there. Like she made a whole big deal of it. And then one person showed up. And I did her hair and I made like $50. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I haven't had $50 all at once. I would have to starve for 10 days and not to have $50 accumulate from the $5 a day from my mother. So I was like, wow, like there's something I can do to get $50 all at once. So then, I started just really advertising it really hard on social media and just, posting it, letting people know. And it's like, I would get customers here and there. We were on Craigslist as well. And I wasn't getting a lot of customers. I had very sparse amounts of customers and that was from August 2017, I believe, all the way until that December. I probably had 3 clients a month, which is like nothing. And then it
was more than what you were getting before. That's $150. That's more than your $5 a day.
Oh no, the money was great. At the time, the money felt amazing at that time. I was like, yes, I'm rich. But then it was like, but it wasn't many clients compared to, later on. And then by, I think it was April, I had caught on to like, if I posted more that I would get more clients. So it was like in March, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's just say I had like, made $400 in March. It was like in April when I realized that I should post more, I might have made like $2,000, off of doing the hair. And I was like working every day. And so it was literally that time period. And then after that, probably by about August, I had what they would call a steady clientele. So I was like booked every day. I was working every day. All of the slots were filled. And I think that maybe in my height of being a stylist, I probably had maybe like 100 clients a month.
That's massive. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Were you filming that whole time? Like, what were you doing? Were you on Instagram 2017? Were you on YouTube? Were you just on every platform promoting different hairstyles you're doing?
So we weren't on YouTube at that time. I'm just now getting into YouTube. So I was a very well-known stylist. I was a very talented stylist. It's not something I was passionate about. However, I was a very talented stylist. And I got very widely known, and my name was very known in the loc community. People knew who Nia the Loc God was before I got on this, somewhat of a world stage where it's like people that have nothing to do with locks are very in tune with what I'm doing. So that was the little thing. So I definitely did start off with a customer base already from when I was starting my products. I did not start from like, you know what I'm saying? Like just barely getting one customer. That started when I started as a hairstylist. That was the just barely getting one customer. So when I started as a product salesman, I already had several people to sell my products to. I had, so many clients. We're talking about 100 clients a month, and that's like different people. You know what I mean? Like that's several orders there. Then there's people online who wish that they could come to your salon, who wish that you would come to the city, who are watching you. They're potential clients as well, or customers as well. So when I put out my product, there was already so many people that were interested. Maybe like I said, 67 orders worth of people who were interested.
What's your thesis when you're moving into business? Like, I know obviously you have that first product. Now there's like 2 or 3 more that have come out. There's 3, I believe, that I understand.
4.
Are you a fan of doing one thing and doing it well, or testing loads of things? What's your approach to starting?
Definitely one thing and doing it well. I could sit here and have 3 different product lines right now. I could have the grapefruit line, I could have the lemongrass line, I could have the lavender line, I could have this, that, and third. I don't want to do all that. That's too hard to market. That's too hard to, like, that's just too much going on. That's too much stress for your brain. The numbers are going to look low because of that. And you're just going to be like, oh, well, this is not as popular, and this is not this, and this is not that. I think as time goes on, you can really just research and realize, like, what people like better. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of shampoo, a lot of people in the Loc community, they like a peppermint tingle when they're getting their hair shampooed. They like that. So it's like, it made more sense as to why people gravitated to the peppermint shampoo more than the other one, you know? And like, I'm the kind of person, I'll phase it out if people don't like it. You know, I like to focus. I don't want to be sitting here putting so much energy trying to promote all this stuff, and people don't even like this over here. They like this. So let me just push this over here and save my energy and my time trying to push this and promote this. I think that it would also be better just saving time-wise, and then also your customer is less confused. You know, if you tell them like, hey, I've got this is really good for this is the best this. If you have this and another scent, they're like, well, what does that do? What makes that better? Why should I buy that? What's the point of that over there? And then what are you going to say?
Nothing.
It smelled different. There's no reason for somebody to buy it. Yeah. Now you done wasted your money on inventory.
Exactly. Where did you learn about focus and about not wasting inventory? Because that's like, I love it. That's the vibe I'm on. Like, yeah, where did you pick up that kind of stuff? I know your mum's a businesswoman. Yeah. Is it from your mum? Is it from watching TV? Like,
no, personal experience. Personally, I mean, yeah, my mom's in business, but she's a real estate broker. It's kind of different. I'm in retail. So for me, literally, like when I was like I first told you, like when I was selling the stuff, like when I first started selling stuff, I was selling like the do-rags and the bonnets and the this and the that and wholesaling other products and then selling my product. I noticed that I was left with a lot of inventory depending on certain things. And I was just like, well, damn, like the oil is selling out every week, but I still got these do-rags that I bought 2 months ago. So it's like, clearly, you know, I spent my money on this, and it's like, I didn't want to ever make that mistake with anything else. And that's why we were selling out so fast when we first started. We used to sell out 3 minutes, 2 minutes, because I was like, I'm not overspending on inventory. I know what that's like. And so, you know, that's kind of where that came from. So with these new products, I'm learning to focus because I don't want to, I personally am learning to focus because I don't want to overspend my energy promoting something that's not going to sell. I only got so much energy to give.
That's a gem there, guys. A big factor with what I've seen from your brand is you showcase the results. Results speak so much louder when people can see it. What have been some of the biggest results that you've seen? So I know you're documenting customer purchases. Talk me through that part of your strategy.
So I think that having good products is like very important in business. I think that having products that produce results are very important in business, whatever those results may be, you know, and having something that people will actually care to want, having something proprietary. So I think that with my products, it's like when you buy certain products on the market, especially the ones that are geared toward locks, what are they doing? They're leaving buildup in your hair. They're leaving your hair dry and brittle. They're leaving your hair dirty and, you know, stinky. Because some of the products, they're made with these really, really cheap ingredients that, you know, petroleum, that is attracting dirt to your hair. My products have glycerin. What does that attract? That attracts moisture to your hair. So it's kind of just like, I know as soon as someone uses my products, they're going to notice that their locks are a lot more moisturized and no longer dry. Once you show people that, they're going to be like, oh my God, well, I couldn't find this for the past however many years I've been living on this earth. Now I want it. So when you know you have a good product, and I think that it's so important, some people are trying to make a quick dollar, and that's cool, making money. I agree with that. But it's like, you're not going to make that quick dollar as much, like as quickly as you would if you were to have something, if you took the time to create something that's actually good and that people actually want to purchase, you know, sell things that people want to buy. And then you'll really notice, you know, the results of your bank account.
Yeah. For real. You've done a great product. People are giving great feedback. You're a big fan of this restock strategy. Normally people have websites where people can buy anytime. Just come on my shop, go on my shop. So and then their sales days are like this. We're all actually like this and then like that for a long time. Whereas you kind of are one of the early pioneers that I'm seeing at the moment online who is really pushing the kind of restock game. So limiting the products and having it available maybe every 2 weeks, once a month, once a week. You're coming out with these kind of fresh drops. Talk me a bit behind that part of success, because I think that's a really big part. It leaves people wanting more. It enables people to re-up and get the product if they get in early, and also enables you to grow your brand. Like that video last week or 2 weeks ago, where 100K of orders in 10 minutes, 13 minutes, it blew up. Yeah. People, I'm in London,
No, that got 1 million views. I couldn't even believe that. When I looked at the actual view count, I was like, does that say 1M? Oh, wow. A lot of people saw this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that there's that, I think that there's a lot of excitement behind it. The whole selling out thing was very genuine, because it was kind of just literally I don't want to be stuck with extra inventory, period. I don't want to be out here with a bunch of inventory and people don't like it. So I like to start out with here, I'm going to give you piece by piece. And as time goes on, whatever I know will sell, that's what I'm going to put out. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be left behind with a whole bunch of inventory. And as a byproduct of that, it makes people want it even more, because they're like, oh, it's sold out, must be good. Or they're like, people are like, oh, it's sold out, I feel special for having it. Now they want to talk about it more. Now they want to tell their friend about it. Then it's like, oh, it's sold out. Damn, I really wanted it. Now I want it even more, and that literally happens. I remember one time I was going to book a hotel and I really liked it, but it was like $500 a night. And I was like, I said, let me go look at the next hotel. Let me see if they got better prices. Let me see how they view look. Then I said, let me go look at some other rooms. And the minute I had been like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with this one, and it was like the date that I wanted was unavailable, I was refreshing it, and no, I really wanted this one. No, what the fuck? Come on now. And then when it came back available, I was just like, book now. I didn't go to the next hotel and look what they got. I didn't look at the other rooms. I said, book now. And it's like the same kind of idea of where people are like, if it was readily available, they probably would have thought about it. They probably would have been like, well, let me go look at this other website and see what they got. Let me go look at these other products and see what's there. But when it's like, it's available, it hasn't been, well, let me just get the stash. Let me just get all 8 bottles together, just because I don't want to miss out on nothing. Let me just get 10 jumbo bottles, because I don't want that to happen. So it's kind of like, those are the byproducts of literally just being like, yo, we don't want to be stuck with extra inventory. And it's like also a way to just have incremental growth, and which I really, really, I preach that. Do not exponential growth. That sounds really cool. That sounds really cool, but that's a lot of stress. You know what I'm saying?
Tons of stress, for real.
It's a lot of stress. And there's nothing wrong with, reaching a goal. It's kind of just honestly, there's another entrepreneur that I know. I'm not sure of her real name, but I think I am, but I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't want to get it wrong. Anywho, but her brand is SoXO.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of her? She's a perfect example of just incremental growth. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, I haven't known her for that long. But what I see is it's like she's taken her time. She's built her business. She's built her team. She's, built her facilities. And it's like she's taken her time. And it's like she's very young. She's 23. She's very lit. You know what I'm saying? She's out here giving 15,000 orders. She's very lit. And it's like she's not it doesn't, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like she's putting so much stress on herself trying to do these exponential, you know what I'm saying, trying to do this exponential growth. It's like you can grow incrementally and it'll be a lot less stress on you as an entrepreneur. And it'll be like don't feel so much pressure to be all the way up here right now. Because it's like you're going to get there. You're so young. You know what I'm saying? We're so young. We don't have to be billionaires tomorrow. You could be a billionaire at 25. I think that's still lit. Respectfully. I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? If I could keep the hair on my head and still be a billionaire, I think I'm going to take the other route. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're putting so much stress on ourselves. It's just you're just going to end up aging yourself. Now you 20 and you look like you 34.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just yeah. Don't stress. Yeah. Incremental growth works too.
What are other things that you preach then? Someone's 19, 20, even if they're 27 and they're 2021. They're going to go full pelt and push it. Incremental growth, product. Is there anything else that you preach that you think people need to really start resonating about and thinking about?
Yo, post more. Let people know what you're doing. Like,
explain that a bit more. So, for example, for me right now, I put 2 or 3 stories up on my Instagram story. I tweet once a day, and I post on Instagram like once every 2 weeks. But the energy I'm getting from you and I'm getting from other people, I'm like, I'm about to switch all of that up.
First of all, he lost me with the 2 posts on the stories. Because I got the dots so little. The dots big. Little dots you've never seen on my story. Okay?
It's like a TV show.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it works. Like, sometimes you think you're going to put so much out there and nobody's actually going to watch it. People will sit there for however many hours of their day and watch it.
And do you post on both? Are you talking about I should be posting multiple times, not just on my personal page as BJ, but also on my business page? I got a Super Network.
Yeah, no, it's different. So I post more than most on every page. Even my least posted on page, I'm probably still posting more than most people. I try to at least post at least once a day, even on our salon page. Now, all of my stylists are quite booked. See, once you're fully booked, that's the best that you could do when it comes to doing hair. When it comes to selling product, even if you don't want to sell it all at one time, even if you want to just get your name out there for the future, you got to continue to say your name. You got to continue to put your product out there, show your results, stay in people's faces. Don't let them forget about you. It's like if I seen your story, you had 2 posts on your story this morning and you haven't posted the rest of the morning, I'm not even thinking about you anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you keep on posting and you keep on posting and you staying relevant in my mind, now it's like I'm going to get more and more intrigued with it every day. It's like a good example is like, do you know who Todd Capital is? Or excuse me, Todd Billion?
Yeah, he follows me on Twitter. He's on point. We follow each other.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I don't even care about stocks, but somehow I'm interested because I keep seeing him talk about he's made this much money. He is this successful. He has this many homes. He has this many cars and Rolexes and whatever he wants to have. Trucks. He's gotten into trucking now. It's like, this is so interesting and captivating. When you're not posting enough, you can't captivate anybody. You're not catching anyone. You know what I mean? I don't care about stocks. I don't give a shit. But somehow I now care because I keep seeing him talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. It's like you may not even catch the people who do care when you don't post at all. You know what I'm saying? Look at how many people you've lost. All the people who did care, the people who didn't care, like the people who never gave a fuck. It's like, yo, there's a large market that you're missing by not putting it out there.
And are you recommending? I like that energy. It's like promoting a mixtape or an album. It's like promo run. We just got to be on. We got to be on it. I love it. I love that energy. Are you also saying that the same way that I'm doing it with my personal brand and upping it as a business owner with your business page? Someone's listening. Should they be the face of their brand, or is it about showing their product? Like, what's your views on that? Because on the salon, for example, do you take it over, and also with the product page for the actual bottles? Do you speak on camera on that as well? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So I think that it is great for me personally, for me to be the face of my brand, and not just me being the face, but I think that it's important for them to see a face. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not just my face, I want them to see my whole team. I want it to get kind of personal because I think that sometimes that's where that actual support can come from. Because we have people who have bought 37 bottles and they still buying more. Why? They don't need that much. They got one head. But why are they buying so much? Because they love us. You know what I'm saying? It almost turns into like a fan of a rapper just buying merch. It's not about, I need all these t-shirts, but I love you, so I'm going to keep on buying more. So I think that, in a way that can help you in terms of sales, because it's like suddenly people always talk about support Black businesses. It's like people will be more inclined to support you when they know you and they like what you're doing. It's like when people see that I'm a young Black woman, they're like, oh, I want to support her more now. Now that I see this young face, this young woman who just graduated high school 2 years ago and she's doing all of this, how could I not want to be a part of this? How could I not want to contribute to her success? Suddenly people want to do that. If you just see a brand, you don't know who owns it, you don't know who's associated with, you don't know who the team is. People see that my team is filled with Black and brown people. People see that my team is filled with, young people in the LGBT community. It makes them realize like what my morals are, what our team is really about. It makes them want to support us even more, especially when they see us. Look at our young faces.
Hey, I can relate.
How hard we're working.
Yeah.
How could you not want to support this? I want to spend my money now looking at our faces.
Oh, you've got it. Literally it's the same energy I had when I was 18, even now at 25. I'm like, why not? Like, we're still young, just go and do it. Like, and important on top of that, people support people who are doing things. Don't be asking people for favors and you're not putting nothing out there. They can't see you. They don't know what you're doing. I think that's something that I've always said to anyone that asks me for advice. Well, how can I start my business? I'm like, I can lend you a $5 or $5, but I'm not going to invest in something and I can't even see that you've invested in yourself. So I think that's a good point that you've made there. It's very important. So to close off, we're going to be doing a masterclass in January, you and I, and a couple of other entrepreneurs. I want to really help people figure out their strategy, but more importantly than their strategy, just the mentality that's needed to be a boss and to go and do it for themselves. And whilst doing that, also give people insight around the mental health and the mentality needed to fight the obstacles that will come. Because even when you get to 1 million, there's new obstacles that you just didn't imagine. It doesn't go away. Obviously, Nia, you're going to be speaking. And to close off, I wanted you to maybe give people who are listening a bit of a message around the things they should be thinking about when launching a new idea in 2021.
Well, think about a lot of the things that we spoke about. Just also, just have a good product. Have a good product. And be willing to actually push. Once you know that it's good, be willing to push it. Be willing to be devoted to it. Be willing to not be, too prideful. I know y'all. I was speaking to Alma before. You talking about something about beggars. Be a beggar. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop being so prideful and thinking like, oh, I don't want to put it out there. And I think that's really what it is. Like, honestly, like, y'all would make so much more money if y'all didn't have that mindset of, I don't want to be a beggar. The beggars seem to be millionaires. So, maybe we should start begging. Maybe we should start begging because clearly the beggars are lit. Clearly the beggars have the Rolls Royces and the mansions and they're living really good. So why, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you see somebody doing so well over there, maybe you should wonder if you're in the wrong business. Like, maybe we should start begging. Clearly that works. So, be a beggar and have a good product. Believe in yourself, tirelessly devote yourself, and, just post a lot.
Come on. Thank you, Nia. Peace and love. Right, guys, don't forget, like and subscribe, get involved in the comments, follow Nia on all socials at Nia the Loc God, follow me at BJ Mlenga, and see you guys in January. Peace.
All right.